Yo people, what's going on? Back again with another vid. This one ain't about Tottenham, but look out for that though. That will be coming later after the game, so there will be a post-game review, do not worry. That will be dropping later on tonight after full time. There's no replays, so it has to end today. So whenever that ends, that video will be dropping and the ratings most likely will follow tomorrow. But there is some breaking news I need to report. Chelsea have now parted ways with Frank Lampard and are looking to bring in Tuchel from, he was at Dortmund, then he went to PSG, but we get on to him later on. Let me start with Frank Lampard first of all. You see, now when you bring in a legend as your manager of your football club, and this is why I don't want a legend managing Tottenham. I don't want Ledley King or anyone like that managing Tottenham. Because when they have a form like this, as a manager, and it's really bad, and it ain't going the way you planned it, and then you want to get them out, it kind of burns you to say, I love him, but he's got to go. And then sometimes it will turn people against you, and it will tarnish your reputation, and it can. But for me, I don't think it will tarnish his reputation because he's a legend, regardless of what he's done as a manager at the club. Let's be real. I'm sure he's like the all-time top goal scorer, so I doubt they can't take any of that away from him. But when the fans call for you out, like, we love you, but you got to leave, it can be a little bit, bittersweet. Like, it's bitter because he's a legend and sweet because he's doing a shit job and he needs to leave. But if we're looking at it realistically, he done well to get them Champions League last season with that transfer ban and Hazard leaving. And he relied on the youth. And he got top 4. No one could see it with that team. But then in all fairness, I think he got top 4 because if we're being real, everyone else around him were just as bad. Like, Tottenham were bad, Arsenal were bad, United were not at their best. Everyone around them, Leicester fell off. So it kind of helped them get into the top 4 when it probably wasn't deserved, if we're being real. They just took their chances, and that's how it is. Football's a result-based business. You get the results, you keep your job, and you win trophies, you get top 4, all that. And the thing was, Chelsea would lose, and then everyone else around them would lose. Or Chelsea would win, and then some would win and some would draw. So that's how they got into the top 4. Then we go to the transfer window. They bring in Werner. They signed him early, but he stays at Leipzig for the rest of the season. They signed Ziyech, but I think when he came, he was injured or something. And they brought in Havertz. They brought in Thiago Silva. They spent 200 million. Let that sink in. 200 million they spent in the transfer window, right? Now, you'd think, spending that money, title contenders. And it's not like they just spent the money poorly like Tottenham did those years ago when we got Soldado, Paulinho, and when Bell left, we signed Lamela, all those dead players. They used their money wisely. The signings they bought were quality signings, if we're being real. Werner, Leipzig, on job, scoring goals left, right, bang them in. Havertz, Leverkusen, bang them in. Headers, long range shots, all kinds of goals you're scoring. Ziyech, Ajax, when we paid them, brilliant. Absolute baller. All these men are ballers. Let's be real. But when you have a manager like this, that's had no real experience apart from his time at Derby, not been with a big club, not had many jobs, and you giving those kind of players. Now, for me, it seemed like he would just put these players in, even though they were poor. He would put them in because he's like, we spent all this money, I've got to play him because the money I spent, I've got to try and show that money I spent was worth it and it wasn't a total flop. So I'm just going to keep forcing it and chucking them in there, even though they're not performing. Now, when I saw their team, I said, you know what, Chelsea probably winning the title. that team can win the title. But I don't know if they can with this manager. And I done a video not long ago saying, is he done after they lost to Leicester? Now, people are saying he has this game against Luton. If he wins that, he'll keep his job. But I said, for me, he's out of here. And they've already made, it's only a matter of time. They really want him out. They just need to find a replacement. And once they do, he'll be out the door. And so said, so done. They beat Luton 3-1 yesterday. And he was out the door today, this morning. So, and people say he's like Arteta, but Arteta's getting results. I think earlier, if he was at Chelsea, Arteta would have been sacked a long time ago, if we're being honest. He wouldn't have made that run he was on. He wouldn't have made it that far. He would have been gone. But Chelsea are ruthless. Abramovich loves that club. You can tell. He even said that it's not going to diminish what he's done at the club, but he's got to go. We want to win trophies, and if you're not doing it, then no matter who you are, you got to leave. And that's what they've done. They sacked him, and now we will see what these players are made out of. Now we're going to see if it was Lampard or if it's the players. Now, for me, I wouldn't say they were down tools in, because they weren't. Some games they were really bad. Let me be real. They were shocking, like against Arsenal, Leicester. They were shocking. So don't take this as an excuse that, oh, maybe, you know, they've been performing like every game and they've just been unlucky. They've been shocking. But sometimes you see them play and it's like, oh, they're making an effort. They just can't finish their dinner, like Werner, Havertz. They've been poor. Werner came in, he started off well, scored like 4 goals in his first 4 games or something. He was on fire, then it just dipped, and then since then, I think he got a goal against Morecambe, and he had a penalty yesterday, he missed, summed him up really, and that time he was on the line and he hit the crossbar. Not good enough. Now, when the new manager comes in, Tuchel, who's due to come in, they want him in Wednesday for the game for Wolves. Let's see if he can turn this team around. And they're around 8th place or something, 8th, 9th. They're not far off. If they get on a run, they're right back in the mix. But Tuchel, for me, now we're off Lampard now, getting on to Tuchel, for me, he's a bit overrated. I don't think he's that good a manager, if I'm honest. He was at Dortmund, he done his thing. All right, cool. Went PSG. Did he really deliver with that team he had? Because if we're being real, that team he had at PSG is better than the team he has at Chelsea. But he couldn't get it done there. Got to the Champions League final. Didn't do what he's supposed to do. I remember, I think they played, was it the season before, they played, was it Barcelona or something, and they threw it away. They just couldn't get where they needed to go with that team they had. Remember, they had Neymar and Mbappe. They had some good players in their team. And he couldn't get them over the line and win the trophy. Obviously, PSG is going to win the league. Who else is really going to win it? Like, Lille's up there now and all that, but they will fizzle out. PSG will go and win it. And Poch deserves to win a trophy. And I'm rooting for him. Good luck to him. Shout out to him. But PSG likely to win the French league every season. And I don't think that's what the board are worried about. I think the board are more thinking, you know what? We know we've got the league. We don't care about that. We want European success now. We want to win the Champions League. We want to win all that. Get us that. And you couldn't deliver. And you got sacked. But his management, for me, doesn't seem like the best. And he says things that he probably shouldn't say. But I don't know. For me, I wouldn't take him at Tottenham, that's for sure. If we sacked Poch and we brought in Tuchel, I wouldn't be happy. Absolutely, I would not be happy. He plays boring football. He just has his favourites and he chucks them in there. And for me, not good enough. And I don't know what he's going to do at Chelsea with this team. People are saying he can get the best out of Havertz, get the best out of Werner. We'll see, it's to be seen. He could be a success. He can go in and do big things, or he can go in and flop. I don't know. We'll see his first game in charge, how he sets up and how they play. But that is why it's funny that Neymar and Mbappe wouldn't sign new deals while he was there. They were hesitating, but now Poch is there. They're in negotiations. Mbappe's still thinking, but it seems like he's got some kind of idea what he's going to do. I think the players didn't sign because they wanted to see if he was going to leave. And for me, what done it for me, I remember when PSG were playing, who were they playing? It was a league game. I'm sure it was a league game. And the fourth official was apparently racist. So no, it was a Champions League game. And I think it was Besiktas or something. And the fourth official was racist to one of the Besiktas team's team. I forgot his name now. But salute to him. Black guy. And they were arguing, and then Neymar and Mbappe were like, look, he's being racist. Like, we want to walk off. If anything, I saw Tuchel just sitting there, not interested, just waiting for the game to start. He got up and told them not to stop moaning and get on with the game. And then Neymar and Mbappe were like, what? Is this guy mad? He said, no. We're the main men here. We're the stars here. If we say we ain't playing, then the game ain't going on. Whatever you say. You might be the manager, but we the one that call the shots. Because they can't replace us, but they can replace you. And Neymar and Mbappe said, you know what? Once the Besiktas man said, you know what, we're leaving. They said, you leaving? All right, bet. We out. Arteta pulled the man them on the pitch and said, look, come on, we off. We out of here. But this guy, he's racist, he's denying it, saying whatever, coming up with all these ducktails. The man know what he heard. We ain't doing no racist thing. We black as well. So we out of here. And then they all walked off the pitch. And Tuchel, he seemed a little disgruntled about it. I said, you can't be standing up for racism and then you going on like that. So for me, I said, that's a red flag. So from then, that just further helped my case that this guy is just washed and he's a waste man and I ain't dealing with him, I ain't checking for him. Because you got black players in your team, you be paying them and you're not supporting. Let me tell you this. Say what you want about Mourinho, yeah? But if he heard no racism and he would be telling them players, come off the pitch. If they said we're walking, boss, I don't see him saying, all right, you know what, stay on the pitch, let's just finish the game, He'd be like, okay, you walk, okay, we go. And he'll go in the dressing room and he will applaud his players in his post-game review or whenever the next has an interview, be saying, yeah, I'm proud of my players. They heard they suffered racism. They stood up for what they believe in. And they walked off. I don't make them wrong. If they want to get fined or whatever, we'll take that. But they will not be punished from me. But Tuchel, he just seems like he just cares more about football and trying to win a trophy and getting points on the board and love from people and whatever else, trying to be the greatest coach in the world, which you will never be, by the way. Sorry, mate. Pep's ahead of you. Mourinho's ahead of you. Even Wenger. You got a long way to go, bro. Like, you ain't ever going to reach those levels. Let's be real. So you're just going to have your little French League trophies that anyone could win. I could win the French League at PSG if we're being real. I could have won it with them. So you don't get no plaudits. And again, main story, Frank Lampard sacked from Chelsea today. Tuchel looking to a place. To be honest, it's Chelsea's problem. But are the fans happy? I don't know. I haven't spoken to none of my Chelsea fans, my friends yet. So we'll see how it goes. But that's looking like where it's headed. And we'll see come end of the season what he does. But again, my Tottenham post-game will be up later, so look out for that. But until then, I'm out of here. Peace.